Hi students, welcome to the video lecture on the heat transfer lab. So today we will conduct the experiment on heat transfer by forced convection. So the objective of this experiment is to determine the convective heat transfer coefficient and the rate of heat transfer by forced convection for the flow of air inside a horizontal pipe. So first let us study what do you mean by convection. It is the mode of heat transfer in which the exchange of heat takes place between the solid surface and its adjacent fluid that is in motion. So forced convection means if the exchange of heat takes place with the help of any external agency like fan or blower, so such type of heat transfer it is called as the forced convection. So in here in our experiment, the blower blows the air inside a horizontal pipe. So where that air is heated with the help of heater, and that heated air it transfers its heat to the tube surface. That means here heat transfer takes place from the hot fluid to the solid surface. So this is the observation table. So first, before starting the experiment, we have to note down the room temperature, that is TR. So already we have noted down the room temperature TR as 31 degrees centigrade. So we have to add 273.15 Kelvin to this room temperature. So this is the heater input. This is voltmeter reading V in volts, ammeter reading I in amperes. This is V into I. It is going to get, that is heat input in watts. So this is differential manometer reading. So this is the air temperature at inlet and outlet we are going to measure here, and this T2, T3, T4, T5 and T6 it measures the tube surface temperature in degree centigrade. So now let us conduct the experiment.
So this is the experimental setup for conduction of the experiment, that is heat transfer in forced convection. So let me start the switch first. So let me explain first the setup of the experiment. So this is the blower, and the blower, the function of the blower is to blow the air through this pipe. So this is the pipe, that is galvanized iron pipe. So the diameter of this pipe is 40 mm, and this air is passing through an orifice meter. So this is the setup of an orifice meter. So which is this orifice, the function of the orifice meter is to measure the discharge of the air which is flowing through this pipe. And these are the two pipes which are connected to before the inlet to the orifice. One pipe is connected to the left limb of the manometer, and the outlet of the orifice is connected to the right limb of the manometer. And the diameter of the orifice, he has given it as 20 mm. So when the air flows through this orifice, so due to the difference in pressure and the air flows through this orifice, that difference of pressure is measured in this manometer tube. So whereas manometer, it is used to measure the difference of the air pressure which is flowing in this pipe. Then by using this pressure difference, that is mercury difference in the manometer tube, then we are going to substitute this value, difference in mercury level in the manometer, which we are going to read it in the mm, that we are going to substitute in the formula, and we are going to calculate the discharge of the air which is flowing through this pipe. So this is the heater. So this heater, it heats the air passing through this pipe. So now moving to this, so this is our specimen tube. So this specimen tube is wrapped with the rope, that is asbestos rope. So we have covered this specimen tube with the help of asbestos rope, because in order to avoid the heat loss to the atmosphere, that means whatever the heated air is flowing in this specimen tube, so the heat should not flow outside, that is to the atmosphere. So in order to avoid the heat loss to the atmosphere, so this asbestos rope is provided. So this specimen tube, it is made up of copper tube. This is a copper tube. The inside diameter of this copper tube is 25 mm and the length of this copper tube is 400 mm in the length. So here total 7 thermocouples are provided to note down the temperatures of this specimen tube over the length. So this is a thermocouple which reads the temperature T1, that is here you can see here, this is the knob which reads the temperature from T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, T6 up to T7. So this is the temperature indicator which reads the temperature T1, T2, T3 up to T7. So this is the thermocouple which reads the temperature T1, that means T1 it reads the temperature of the air inlet to the specimen tube, that is the temperature of the air when it enters the test specimen. Whereas T2, T3, T4, T5, T6, these thermocouples, it reads the temperature of the test specimen, that is what is the temperature of the specimen tube. Here what is the temperature at this point, what is the temperature at this point, what is the temperature at this point, what is the temperature at this point. So from T2 to T6 it reads the temperature of the test specimen, whereas this thermocouple, that is 7th thermocouple, it reads the temperature T7, that reads the temperature, that is air outlet temperature of the test specimen. And this is the indicator of the voltmeter and this is the indicator of the ammeter. So as per the desired voltage, as per our requirement, we have to set the voltage and then we have to leave the experiment to reach its steady state. So when it reaches its steady state temperature, then we will start taking the readings. So let me set the voltage. Say my desired voltage is up to 140 volt, I will set it. And slowly, this is the dimmer stat which is used to set the voltage. So slowly I will set the voltage up to for 140 volts I will set, and we will allow the specimen, allow the voltage to reach its steady state. So this reads the ammeter reading and this reads the voltage. So my desired voltage I have set it for 140. So we will keep the experiment to reach its steady state. At least for 10 to 15 minutes we will keep it and then we will take the readings. So this is the dimmer stat, this is which is used to change the RPM of the blower. That means with this dimmer stat we can change the discharge of the air flowing through this pipe. So you can see here, still I can show you with the help of sketch here. See here, this is the blower. So where it is blower, it blows the air through this GI pipe, and this is the orifice which is fixed here in the pipe. It reads the function of the orifice is to measure the discharge of the air flowing through the orifice. So this is the heater which heats the air when it is flowing through this pipe. So this is my test section, already I have told you. So these are the thermocouples which are placed on the test specimen. So these reads the temperatures of the test specimen along its length. Where T1 it reads the hot air inlet temperature, whereas T7 it reads the air outlet temperature, and whereas the temperature from T2 to T6 it reads the specimen temperature. Now the experiment it has reached its steady state. Now we will note down the voltmeter. It is 139.5 and current is 0.4 ammeter reading. Now I will start the blower to my desired flow rate. So after starting the blower, let us wait for some time. So now we will take the readings. T1 57, T2 56, T3 51, T4 48, T5 46, T6 44, T7 54. Now we will set the voltage for 160. Another reading will take. Now we will wait for it reaches its steady state. Let us wait for 10 minutes till it reaches its steady state. So let the temperature reaches up to now 90 degrees centigrade, so that we can take the next reading when it reaches its steady state.
So these are the readings which we have taken now. Voltmeter reading is 139.5, ammeter reading is 0.4. So this V into I, that is heat input, we have calculated 55.8 watts. So this is the differential manometer reading, that is 15 mm difference we have got the manometer level. Air temperature inlet is 57 degrees centigrade and air outlet temperature is 54 degrees centigrade. And these are the temperatures of T2, T3, T4, T5 and T6 along the tube surface. Now let us do the calculations. So this is the mass density of air, that is rho A is equals to P divided by R into TR. So whereas atmospheric pressure is 101,325 Newton per meter square, whereas gas constant for air is 287 joules per kg Kelvin and room temperature is 31 degrees centigrade. So for that we have added the Kelvin, that is 273.15 Kelvin. So total it is 304.15 Kelvin. So I have substituted all these values in this equation and my density of air is 1.16 kg per meter cube. Next we will calculate the pressure drop across the orifice meter, that is in meter of air. So HA is equals to rho m into HM divided by rho A. The density of mercury is 13,600. So this is the difference in mercury level. So we have converted it in meter. So density of air is 1.16, which is already calculated. So pressure drop across orifice meter is 175.86 meter. Next we will calculate volume flow rate of air through the orifice. So which is given by Q is equals to CD into A naught into root of 2 GHA. So coefficient of discharge of orifice meter, it is 0.68. It is standard. It is given already in the book, pi upon 4 d square. So that is 20 mm diameter of the orifice into root of 2 into 9.81 into HA we have calculated. So this discharge Q is 0.0125 meter cube per second. So next we will calculate the velocity of air through the pipe, where velocity V is equals to Q divided by A. So this discharge already we have calculated 0.0125 pi upon 4 d square. So this is the diameter of the test specimen, 25 mm. So this is velocity V is 25.46 meters per second. So next we have calculated the average temperature of the surface of the tube, where Ts is given by addition of this T2, T3 plus T4 plus T5 plus T6 divided by 5. That means average temperature we have taken. So we have added all the temperatures and divided it by 5. So we are going to get the average temperature of the surface of the tube as 49 degrees centigrade. Next we have calculated the mean temperature of air, that is Tm is equals to T1 plus T7 divided by 2. So we have got mean temperature of air as 55.5 degree centigrade. So now we have taken the mean temperature of this fluid, that is average temperature of this air plus average temperature of this surface. We have taken the mean temperature of both. This Tf is equals to Ts plus Tm divided by 2. I have added this temperature and I have added this temperature. We have taken the mean of this. So this temperature of the fluid, we have taken it as 52.25 degree centigrade. So now let us note down the values of the properties of the air at 50 degree centigrade from the data handbook, that is the CP Kondarama. can refer page number 34. So there they have given the properties of the gases at 1 atmospheric pressure. So as this temperature is nearer to 50 degrees centigrade, so we have noted all the values at 50 degrees centigrade from the data handbook. This kinematic viscosity, Prandtl number and thermal conductivity, we have taken all these values from the data handbook. So now Reynolds number Re is equals to V into D divided by kinematic viscosity. So we have substituted all these values in this formula and we have calculated the Reynolds number as 35,459.61. So this is a non-dimensionless number. Next we have calculated the Nusselt number, where Nusselt number is denoted by the symbol Nu. It is given by 0.023 Reynolds number to the power 0.8 into Prandtl number to the power n. So this is also the formula which is taken from the data handbook. You can refer page number 126, and where n is equals to 0.4, it is for heating the fluid. So now we will substitute the values in this formula. So we have substituted Reynolds number as 35,459 to the power 0.8. So Prandtl number I have substituted here value to the power 0.4. So my Nusselt number is 86.8. So next, this Nusselt number can also be calculated by this formula H into D divided by thermal conductivity of air. So therefore we will calculate the heat transfer coefficient. H is given by Nu into thermal conductivity of air divided by D. So this heat transfer coefficient H, so we have substituted the values. This Nu as 86.8, thermal conductivity of air, this value from the data handbook. So diameter is 25 mm. So my heat transfer coefficient, it is 98.11 watt per meter square Kelvin. Now we will calculate the average value of this heat transfer coefficient, where it is given by H is equals to Q divided by A into Ts minus Ta. So this Q already we have calculated it as 55.8. So this is A is nothing but surface area of that tube specimen. It is pi into D into L. So this is Ts minus Ta. So heat transfer coefficient we have got it as 98.67. So as both these values are very nearer to each other, that means our heat transfer coefficient value is correct.